Hello and welcome. I wanted to make this video to cover the footage of the Warhammer Fest, specifically the Warhammer Horus Heresy reveals. If you've seen leaks and things, probably wasn't much that you haven't seen before. I was expecting some newer things, but I guess we'll see those as the months go on. There are some key points that I'd like to make about the reveals, and I'll make them as we're looking at them all. But the main takes from it was that the box set will be under £200. Whether that's 199.99 or whether it's 180, I'm gunning for 180. I think 190 is a bit too close to that £200 price point, but we'll see. So that was the main point. The other point is it's out next month in June. I'm not sure how their release schedule is going to go, whether they're going to have a 2-week release window for it, whether it's going to be a pre-order promise, whether third-party sellers will sell it. I think they will, because it's a mainstay box, but it looks great. So let's dive into the whole event, specifically Horus Heresy. So the first thing they revealed was the new box set for Warhammer Horus Heresy. I like the art, I like the boxes. We've already had 2 plastic characters be released for a very reasonable £18 each for boxed characters, and I thought that was an extremely good start. The instructions were great, the box art was great. If we look at this box set right now, what's that over there in the background? It's a War Master Titan. I don't know whether we'll get it. I think it looks a bit too small there. To me, that looks more like a Reaver or maybe even a Warlord. I think that should be way, way bigger. That must be some, distance away, because they are a fair bit bigger than a Warlord. But it shows some of what's in the box, I guess. You've got some Sons of Horus. You've got the main draw of this box set, I think, which is the Land Raider Spartan. The Land Raider Spartan, if you didn't already know, is a huge Land Raider with quad las cannons and different cupola mounted heavy weapons as well. You've also got one of the Praetors and the Contemptor Dreadnought in the back. So let's have a look at the minis. Now, I've seen some of these with the size comparisons compared to the current Mark III and Mark IV kits. They are a little bit bigger, like half a head bigger, height-wise. I know a lot of people wanted them like true scale, but I don't think we're going to get to that point where they're going to be the same size as Primaris, put it that way. You look at some of the Horus Heresy resin miniatures, like the infamous Imperial Fists Terminator Praetor, and you see that he is way bigger than anything out there. Compared to the other Terminator brethren as well. But I like the miniatures. The poses are better than we received in, I want to say 2016, 17, with those 2 box sets, the Burn and a Prospero and the Betrayal at Calth sets. You've got, looks like combat blades on bolt guns are a thing. They seem to all have quite a few of these affixed. And you've got the Beakies or the Mark VI power armor. Yeah, they look really, really decent. I think the color scheme definitely sells them as well. You've got the 2 new Praetors. I think you get a couple of options for heads. Definitely for the Imperial Fist one. It's got a very nice Volkite weapon there and a heavy power axe, I want to call that. But even these guys have the studded armor. I don't think they're Terminators, but they've definitely got that kind of thick set to them. Then you've got the Contemptor Dreadnought. It does look, I say basic. you know, they say you can pose it in a number of ways. It's going to be interesting to see what kind of poses people make out of this compared to the resin kit, because that kit was just, you know, if I was ever to recommend a Forge World resin kit to people, just to get used to it, it would be you know, the Contemptor kit. So you get a number of weapon options with this. You get the autocannons. For some reason in this little article it doesn't show them, but in a previous article it did. You can have a melter cannon and a bolt cannon, although it looks more like a heavy bolter. You got the las cannons and things like that, and you get the missile launcher as well. So that's all right. I mean, it's definitely a step up from the previous one, which is just awful. Now here is the Land Raider Spartan. These used to be about £80–90 on Forge World. They in resin, and their tracks were separate. Then they changed the tracks that were moulded onto the sides of the tank, and it bumped up the price to almost £100. And then recently, with the price increases and things, we've seen them top out at £127, which is quite a lot. And when you consider that this box set may be £180, you know, for £50 more, yeah, you're getting so much more, aren't you now, comparing it. But I hope that this all plastic Horus Heresy does keep at I say reasonable price point compared to definitely 40k and Age of Sigmar, but we'll see, because if they're able to keep it at a reasonable price point, they know they're going to sell a lot of this. They do, so maybe they can factor that in with number of sales. And also with a kit like this Spartan, I think I'm hoping that they've designed the kit so that they can bring about the other tanks like the Cerberus and the Typhon, and it's just some kind of upgrade sprue in with the main kit. But yeah, you can transport 26 Space Marines and power armor in this, so it's a fair few more than the normal Land Raider. You've got some options there. You've got another heavy bolter. You've got the heavy bolter's cupola weapon and the quad las cannons. Interesting that they never got to the point of sculpting laser destroyers. I think that would have been a great thing, because then you could have the laser destroyers. I think they're like a shorter range, but a little bit better for strength. I think it was like strength 10 or something. For the other kits as well that they're going to bring out. Now, then you've got the Terminators. These are the Terminators that we've seen before, so they are not new. These are the Cataphracti Terminators, which is a little bit disappointing. I would have liked to have seen brand new Terminators. I think people said that these are going to look a bit small compared to the slightly bigger, you know, power armored Space Marines, and yeah, I probably would agree. These haven't always been the largest looking Terminators. Then you've got the rulebook. Now this is thick. It's a thick rulebook. You've got the return of the Whippy Sticks, which I know a couple of people are very excited about. You've got some blast markers and templates too, and you've got some boring white dice. I mean, I've said it before, it would be nice to have some black dice with some silver writing, maybe have the Eye of Horus symbol on the 6 or something like that. I don't know. Would have been great if they could have factored that in. And here are the full contents. So obviously they are not Legion specific. You know, you can have these in a singular force, whatever Legion you wish. They don't have, you know, bespoke shoulder pauldrons or anything like that. So if you were to pick up this set, you can have it in just one Legion. Which was the beauty about the Prospero and Calth sets. So you're getting 10 powered armor Space Marines here for, I say Imperial Fists, but what you're really getting is you're getting 40 powered Space Marines in total. You're getting your 2 Praetors, you're getting 10 Cataphracti Terminators, which I think that set's about £35 or so for 5, so that's already 70. You're getting the Spartan, which my best guess in plastic would probably be, I'd say £80. And the reason why I say that is because the current Crusader is 65, but they could surprise us and have that at 70 or even 75. And then you've got the Contemptor Dreadnought, which I think separately will be £40 minimum, I would have thought. So that's a focus on the new box set coming out next month. They've got more little extras that they revealed, such as the 2 army books. Again, I was watching this and I thought, really? They had an ample opportunity to roll out 18 different codexes at £30 each, focusing on each individual faction, and they've written all of the lore and things already with in the black books. So, but no, what they've done is they've just kept it. I say vanilla. They say that there's all the Primarchs in here. So you've got the Liber. You've got the Liber Astartes and the Liber Hereticus. So 2 different army books for the traitors and legion, for the traitors and the loyalists. Interesting to find out how much these big books will cost too. Whether they'll be at the £40 price point. I can't see them being the same price as the codexes at the £32. I think they'll be 40, maybe even 50 each. But hopefully they'll release them at the same time as a box set. Then you've got the box sets of tactical squads, and tactical squads in Horus Heresy typically 20. Space Marines, you've got legions here which are, some are 100,000 strong of Space Marines, so more Space Marines than we've ever had, I think. So that's why you find them in such big numbers at this point in the Imperium's history. So you get 20 in each box set. That's going to be interesting to see the price point of those, whether it's going to be straight up £40 for 20 of them. But you've got the Mark 6 tactical squad, you've got the Mark 3 and the Mark 4. So no Mark 2, no Mark 5 or anything like that. And these 2 here are the old sets, and they're getting repackaged in the lovely new box art. They're also releasing Araman and Gygor Fellhand as well, that were only available in the Burner and Prospero set. So that's good news if you've been holding out for them and you didn't want to spend like £50 on Araman off auction website. So that's good news for you guys. And then, really odd, the Arsenal of Classic Weapons. So yeah, I made a bit of a hoo-ha about this. You've got a special weapons upgrade set, 60 weapons. I don't know whether this is going to be like 3 sprues of 20 weapons each, or whether it's going to be 2 sprues of 30. But with 60 weapons, you're going to have 10 of each. So you're going to have 10 plasmas, melters, this rotary cannon, which I'm sure is going to be very popular. I wonder if you can somehow use that for your Chaos Space Marines, because yeah, I think people were buying a lot of rotary cannons at one point. You got the Volkite weapons too. Yeah, for your magnetization buffs out there, I guess you can magnetize these, where the hands are, just magnetize at the wrists if you wanted to go that route. And likewise for these underhand heavy weapons, you probably do the same, but then you're stuck with, heavy bolters, rotary cannons, and I think the heavy flamers and multi-melters. But yeah, you've got one set there with 60, one set with 20, 10 missile launchers, 10 heavy bolters, one set with 30, the multi-melters, the heavy flamers, and the plasma cannons, and then another set, and then a final set with the Volkite, Culverins, the las cannons, and the auto cannons. So they're deciding to put all of these weapons separately. And the reason they are doing this is because you're going to get no heavy weapons or special weapons in the new boxed army set for Horus Heresy. If you want any heavy weapons or special weapons with those 40, you're going to have to pick up a specific one of these, or maybe all 4 of them. But yeah, the old sets do include some heavy weapons and special weapons though. They do include flamers and plasma guns, melters, missile launchers, and I think heavy bolters. So that I'm not sure whether they have the multi-melters or the plasmas, but I would have a look back on GW's website for those, because I think they do have slightly different heavy weapons in the old Mark 3 and Mark 4 box sets. Then they looked at the Rhino. We're going to save the best till last, don't you worry, guys. So this is the Deimos pattern Rhino. This was available on Forge World before it was, discontinued. I think it was running you almost £40 at the end. I wonder how much this is going to be, whether it's going to be straight up 30 or 35. But it looks pretty decent. I like the dozer blade. I like the bolters and the smoke launchers. I like the options on the top, so you can have a heavy bolter or multi-melter even, or the missile launcher as well. So that's great news that's coming. I'm definitely going to be picking up a few of those. And then the best till last. Well, actually, let's just have a look at the books first. Okay, so you've got a Start Here book, Welcome to the Worlds of the Horus Heresy. So you've got Lupercal's War, Horus Heresy Anthology. Number of authors there, some top ones: Dan, Graham, Aaron, John, Chris, and many more. That is Starting Here. So you've got 21 stories from some of the most prominent authors in the series. I did hope that they would do this, kind of condense like 60 novels or so into some key points and key stories, and that is where they're saying for you to start with that book. So if you're brand new to Horus Heresy, you never read a Horus Heresy book, that is what they're suggesting. For people that are a bit more experienced in Horus Heresy, they've got a new book to coincide with that box set, Chthonia's Reckoning, by a number of authors there. It's another anthology of brand new lore, and also focuses on what's happening on Horus's home world of Chthonian. And then we're finally getting a Rogel Dawn specific book. Over the time we've had Primarch books. I think the next one is Mortarion. Really looking forward to that one. And these are in hardback, and I would pick them up as soon as you can, because when I went to the HQ, they didn't have any of the Primarch books there, and that's the HQ. So that was really odd. You can sometimes pick them up from Amazon and things, and other third-party sellers cheaper. Yeah, it's great that Rogel Dawn's getting his book as well. And now we have saved the best till last, which is a brand new tank. Everybody knows I'm such a tank head. Everybody knows I'm such a tread head, and I love anything to do with tanks. And this is absolutely incredible. This is the Kratos, kind of like a big daddy. It's a heavy assault tank. So think of like a Sakaran, but probably more armoured and armed. I think it'll be a little bit slower though if they're doing the move thing. But it looks like it's got this Kratos battle cannon, which has 3 different weapon modes, 3 different shells. You've got 2 heavy bolters, and then you've got side sponsons as well. Would have been great if you could swap those heavy bolters for something, but I get that they're point defense weapons. I'm not sure whether they can aim up or down, because that would be a bit poor if they can only fire at that angle, because that's way above the heads of Space Marines and things. You've got a coaxial autocannon which can traverse, and the battle can obviously traverse and oscillate, I want to say. You've got the sponsons, which can have the lance cannons, the heavy bolters, or even Volkite culverins, which is great. So this is the Kratos battle cannon. It looks brilliant. Of course, I would have liked to have seen a shell that was 48-inch range, but think of it like a little Fellblade, really. You've got the high explosive shells, which you're just getting one shot, but it's a nice 5-inch blast, but not the best down penetration, because if you look at the new rules here, they're going back to the sort of 7th edition armor penetration, where if it's equal to or lower than an armor save, then they don't get a save. So obviously against Space Marines that have a save of 3, your armor penetration, they're still going to be able to get a save. I'm not quite sure how they worked out with the strength, whether they're still going for, if it's double a strength, they get a save, but if they fail the save and they've got more than 1 wound, then they're killed outright. We're going to have to look at the rules when they come out. You've got armor penetration shells, which they get 2 shots, but bit better armor penetration. So that's going to be against your vehicles, probably heavy armoured troops, and then you've got the flashburn shells, which is a shorter range, a much higher strength, amazing armor penetration, but you only get one shot. You get armor bane, and it does get hot, so you could end up, causing wounds on your own tank. Then it's got another different weapon, the Melter Blast Gun, which is a nice 36-inch range. You're getting 4 shots with that. That's definitely against heavily armoured troops like Terminators, but also against vehicles. And then finally, you've got the anti-troop weapon, or anti-soft troop, which is a Volkite Cardinal. That's a 45-inch range, so the highest range out of all of these. It's a good strength. The AP is probably the worst, but you do get 12 shots and deflag rate and pinning. But if you're like me and you like things to sort of match, I'm going to go for all 3 and get one with a full Volkite, one with melters and las cannons, and one with a battle cannon with all the heavy bolters. I really like the Dozer Blade as well. That's pretty nice. So that's the best till last, the new tank. Things that they didn't show is any flyers. It would have been great to show off a nice flyer, like a Xiphon Interceptor, or a Storm Eagle. Also the Sakaran, they didn't really show that on. Or the Leviathan Dreadnought or Doredio, but I'm hoping we'll see them as the time goes on. So that's my in-depth look with my experience and knowledge from Horus Heresy at the new miniatures and units. What do you guys think? Which out of what was revealed is your favourite and you're most looking forward to? Mine is clearly the tank, closely followed by the box set and the Rhino, but it'd be great to find out what yours is in the comments below. Thank you ever so much for joining me today. Thank you for watching. The Emperor Protects.